Welcome to TORAH Talk. I'm your host, William Hall, broadcasting live out of Kingsland, Texas, USA, with another episode of Testimony Tuesdays. Tonight, coming to you from the radio land, all the way from Australia. Truth2u.org with Jono the Man Van Dorn. Jono, thank you so much, man. This is so exciting for me, and I know it's got to be for everyone else because you're a tough cookie to reach, and I'm glad we reached you, and I'm glad you agreed to let me hijack you for me. It's 9 p.m. and for you, what time is it there?
It's midday the next day.
Oh,
I'm in the future. I'm talking to you from the future.
15 hours.
Wednesday.
I love it. Wow, man! I tell you what, this is great. I kind of wished I hadn't spoke with you earlier because we talked about so much fun stuff. I was like, you know what, we've got to leak this in somehow, and we're going to do that. I'm gonna actually try to make you a little larger because I don't see you pleasantly enough. I'm gonna increase your screen size.
Do you want me to come closer, or
no? Actually, you're good. I just need to. Every week it's different because all the setups. That's the wrong button. Hang on 1 second. Actually, that was the wrong screen. I need to get the local desktop presenter. Okay. Every broadcast I do with 7 or 8, 9 different shows, I literally have to set up these things every time. And each one gets modified just a little bit more. So now this is actually much better. Okay, good deal. Oh yeah, that's beautiful. Very good. Okay, well, just for grins, first of all, let's before we get to talking about fun stuff, I want because there's a lot of YouTube subscribers. We've got I'm guessing somewhere around 1,600 to 1,800 YouTube subscribers. I'm thinking maybe at least half, conservatively, don't know you. They don't know what you do, who you are. So before we do anything, I would like for you to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your background. Not the background like what I see in your screen. We're going to save that for a few minutes later. But what you're doing currently and kind of how you got to this point.
Wow. And that's such a massive question.
You know what? I know, and that could take like 45 minutes, so I should probably narrow that down.
Go on.
Okay, Jono, tell us what you're doing right now with your work with Truth2u.org, your work with Jason's Spiritual Babies. We'll narrow it down to that for the moment, and then I'll ask you more detailed questions as we go along. How's that?
All right. I am the host of Truth2u. Truth2u.org, truth2u.org is the website. Truth2u has been going for, 8 or 9 years, perhaps. It hasn't always been what it is today. It's morphed somewhat, and it's always been a reflection of my own personal journey. There's a whole lot of programs, audio programs and video programs on the website. Pardon me, it'll take you a while to navigate around and see what's there. But you're right, I work a lot with Jason of spiritualbabies.net, my very good friend, and Truth2u is what it is today, largely because of Jason. Jason's a bit of a tech head. He's the guy who likes to get in and know how things work and the latest tech and applications and all that sort of stuff. And he's always saying to me, look, you should do this and you should do that and try this and try that, and he drags me kicking and screaming into the 21st century. Nice. And he's great because I'm probably my own worst critic, and he's probably my greatest encouragement. He and I do a lot of programs together. One of them is actually on another radio station, Israel News Talk Radio, Tamar Yona's website, and nice. English Israeli radio, and we do a program there called Israel on My Mind, which again was Jason's idea. He made that happen, and we have a lot of fun talking about the lighter side of Israeli news, and we do that every Thursday at 7 p.m. Israel time, and that's what we. But on Truth2u, our focus is a little bit different. What we do on Truth2u is more, if you like, a counter missionary approach. Lately, what we've been doing, we've begun a series called the Answering Series, where and again, this was Jason's idea. This is something he's been begging to do for a long time, and we're doing it on video. This was another thing that he wanted to do, and this is why I've taken so long to come on TORAH Talk, and I really appreciate the invitation.
The pleasure is all mine. Trust me on that.
I really appreciate it, and I like to be in control. I like to edit. I like to record, pre-record, and then edit everything and make sure And I finally let that go because when we do video, Jason records that, he edits that, and he puts it up. He does an excellent job.
Fantastic job, yes.
And so we've been doing now. The answering series is other ministries, if you like, Christian ministries that may put forth a perspective, and we analyze it. We kind of take it apart and we reply to it, and we've been having a lot of fun with that. And that's just some of the things Jason and I are doing lately.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's been amazing work because, you know what, I found you. You have to forgive me the way I titled this episode because for me, you and Jason both are like legends for me because it's like you were the very first thing I ever heard of when it came down to this counter-missionary type approach.
Really?
And yes, it was absolutely before Rabbi Singer, before Rabbi Skobac. I saw y'all's deal and I was like, who are these guys? Like, this is amazing. I saw some other people a few years prior who were Messianics, and they were doing this radio podcasting thing, and I liked the idea. And one guy thought that I should try to start doing that myself, and I love the idea because I've always wanted to. I've always liked the idea of teaching. I've always been a teacher, biblical New Testament studies and stuff like that, and I wanted to do that, but I had no clue about how to approach it. And so, just as quickly as that desire came, I dropped it. And then I come across you guys, and a little bit later, I'm starting to see this Rabbi Singer idiot and this crazy Rabbi Skobac, and I'm thinking, man, what is up with these lost souls, man? So this is really just an amazing journey for me. I'm like right now. I mean, I feel like I'm sitting in the room with a legend like Elvis Presley of the rock and roll stage, man. And I know you don't see that, but that's just how I personally feel. Okay, so
I'll tell you that the truth of the matter is that Truth to you is more the stage than the rock star.
That's neat.
Truth to you is the platform on which real teachers are able to teach from, and it's been a great pleasure, a great privilege of mine to be able to have some amazing, some of which you've just said, Rabbi Skobac, Tovia Singer as well, and many others on the website. I learn just as much as everybody else from them, and it's been years of I just can't believe my luck. It's such an incredible blessing to be able to do this.
I have heard so many different teachers on truth2u.org, and I want to plug it more than just telling the viewers who maybe don't know you, don't know Jason's Spiritual Babies. I really want to push them to if you really appreciate what I'm doing here, again, it's just a stage, we're just a conduit, but if you really like this approach, you really need to go to truth2u.org and check out the stuff that, man, I'm telling you, Jono and Jason, man, they have some really awesome programs, man, and it was the very first thing, I guess you could say I cut my teeth on it, and I'm telling you, if you're looking for a good place to support financially, that's a really excellent place to go, man, because they bring to you good quality teachers. And he did not ask me to do this. It's on my own accord. But I personally have donated that direction myself. So, I'm speaking from experience. I've been blessed from it tremendously.
Well, thank you.
And
thank you for that.
Yeah. And so again, this is just a huge day for me, man. This is really cool. So, but I definitely respect what you're saying and the idea that, it is a conduit for the teachers. But the thing is, if it wasn't for technology, if it wasn't for social media, personally, I probably would still be struggling leaving the New Testament. So, the fact that people like you and Jason have found a way to use social media to bring to present Torah teachers to others, so that, like myself, who can actually leave that way of life and actually start something new is a massive thing, man. I mean, people I don't think they understand the magnitude of what's going on right now in the social media world. So
it's I guess I don't want to speak for Jason, but we probably have this in common. I don't like to be none of us like to be deceived. Sure. None of us. No, when we find out we've been deceived, we don't enjoy that,
right?
Do
absolutely,
we?
Absolutely.
I wanted to supply a place where people could evaluate information and weigh it up and see whether or not they have been deceived. I mean, we all gravitate to what is commonly referred to as confirmation bias, and that is we like to gather around ourselves information that already agrees with us, right?
Right, true.
And that's not necessarily a bad thing. That's just the way we are. We do it with everything.
It's human
politics,
nature, right?
Religion, everything. But we also have to remember that it's an important thing to ask ourselves questions, to challenge ourselves and challenge our beliefs, and just remind ourselves why it is that we believe something so dearly. Why is it that I hold to that? Is it because I've been brought up with that belief and I've just always held it to be true? Or do I actually own it? Have I investigated it? Have I looked at the sources? Have I looked at the documents? Have I looked at the passages and references as to whether this is a fair claim or not? Do I really own it? And that's what Truth2u does. It kind of pushes people into corners and lets them feel a little bit uncomfortable, and it lets them challenge themselves with information that they might not have had an opportunity to evaluate before.
And that's so incredibly important because you just described to me how I was raised. I mean, it wasn't research to find out for yourself. It was always trust me. Trust me. That's how I was raised to accept the New Testament. It was like, if you doubt it, then you've already fallen, And it's like it's a really heartbreaking thing to experience.
Now there are two things that you just mentioned there. There's nothing wrong with parents, and one of our first major influences, of course, is our parents, and we should be able to trust them, and that's okay. I mean, at a very, very young age, we have to, and that's fine. And of course, we grow up with biases passed down to us from our parents, and that's fine. But when it's in combination of, if you even think of something else besides this, right, there are serious eternal consequences. That's difficult. That's a problem, and that's when I would say to people, you need to challenge that. God is not threatened by our questions. Why should we be? We should be able to evaluate what we've been told and test them to see if they actually hold water.
Absolutely. Just a quick thought. Alicia Akers on YouTube, she says, "Oh my God, it's Jono!" This is awesome.
Hey, Alicia.
Yeah. And then you've got KRAM Cram 3360 says, "Hey Jono, info which I'm not even going to try to pronounce that. It's in a different language." So we do have a caller though. So let's take this caller and find out, see what we got. Hey, welcome to the show. Thank you for calling in. Please tell us your name, where you're calling from.
Hey guys, it's Jay from Alabama again.
Hey Jay, how are you, man?
G'day, Jay.
Have you got a question for Jono?
Yeah, forgive me if I keep asking questions, but I'm new to this and I'm loving the teaching.
Sure.
So my question is that I accept the evolutionary theory, but I know that that's kind of a contrast with the Genesis record also, and I want to do what's right and believe what's right. So how am I supposed to think? I mean, what do I do? And is there any YouTube teachers or whatever that I can follow that you guys recommend?
That's a good question, actually. And what's really interesting is that one of the things that intrigued me, Jono, I want you to give your feedback too. Granted, this isn't the platform we're going to use to do this. This is more of an interview, but I know Jono's got some insight for this. So one thing that used to intrigue me on this topic was the idea of in Job, in the book of Eov, it actually talked about the great Leviathan, or the behemoth that had a tail as great as a cedar tree. And I'm thinking, I've never seen an animal that big before. So when you think about, evolution, and you think about dinosaurs, and does that jive with the Bible? That's always intrigued me. Jono, have you got any thoughts on that before we?
Look, I think it's great that. G'day, Jay. It's I homeschool my boys, and I encourage them to step out of their comfort zone and to investigate the claims that seem to be counter what the Torah tells us. Because, as I mentioned, then at least they've looked at the argument,
nice,
and they can weigh it up. And they've done so. I'm not threatened by evolution. We weren't there when God created the heavens and the earth. We weren't there in the Garden of Eden. We don't. We have to take the Torah for what it says. We weren't there when the Big Bang happened. We weren't there when the first creature came out of the sea, or whatever it might have been, and gills into lungs and whatever it might have been. We just don't know. For me personally, and again, this is just for me personally. I've looked at it, and it takes more faith, I think, for me, to believe in evolution than it does to believe in what the Torah says. And what it comes down to for me is not whether the question is not so much, is evolution true? Is the Big Bang true? Did we evolve from apes, or whatever it might be? Is there weight to that? The question for me is, why should we trust the Torah? Now, one of my favorite verses in the whole of the Torah is Exodus chapter 19, verse 9. And God is talking to Moses, and he says, listen, I'm going to come and talk to you, and everybody is going to hear. And I'm going to do this on purpose because I want them to freak out. They're going to hear me speak
Nice.
to you,
Right.
Moses, and I'm doing this on purpose. And it says, I'm going to do this so that they will believe in you forever. And that blows my mind. And I think, well, why should that be a defining moment? Why should that be reason? Because we weren't there, right? So what evidence do we have? What evidence, Jay, do we have that God spoke to Moses and that everybody heard it? Well, the evidence that we have is the ongoing testimony of Jewish people today saying our ancestors experienced national revelation. And when you look at every other religion on the planet, it boils down to a personal revelation. So the difference being that, the Apostle Paul on the road to Damascus by himself experienced something or other, and it was a personal revelation. In this case, what sets Israel apart in their belief structure is that God came and gave them a national revelation, a corporate revelation. Now, not only that, but when we go into Deuteronomy, God says, Moses is telling us that not only did this happen, but it will never happen again. 3,500 years have passed since, and it never has happened again. Now, someone who's had an excellent, one of my favorite lectures is by Rabbi Lawrence Kellerman, and it's called "How Do We Know the Torah is True?" If I remember correctly, Rabbi Lawrence Kellerman. I would highly recommend everybody look that up. It goes for about 45 minutes, and I don't know, maybe I've watched it 10 times. Rabbi Lawrence Kellerman. He's got a book on the topic as well. How do we know that the Torah is true? And I would highly recommend that everybody watch that, because it talks about the weight of national revelation and what it means, what it really does mean. With that in mind, for me personally, that is more than enough. I'm fully convinced and compelled that the Torah is true. And I know there are so many evolutionary claims, and that's fine, but we weren't there. we weren't there. We have to take someone's word for it, right? For me, based on national revelation and those verses, this is I'm very much convinced of the Torah.
That was a really, really good answer. Jay, what do you, is that sound good? Is that an acceptable what you were looking for?
Yeah, sounds good to me. Can you give me that name one more time of who to look up?
Rabbi Lawrence Kellerman.
I have heard that name before.
Rabbi
Kellerman.
Lawrence Kellerman. Okay.
Rabbi Lawrence
I will
Kellerman.
do,
The video, if you look up his name and just look at search in videos, it's probably the first one that'll come up. There's a couple of different versions of it on the net, different times that he's given this lecture. Watch them both, honestly. How do we know the Torah is true? If I remember correctly, that's what it's called. You'll find it. It'll be one of the first things that come up.
So it'd be like Kellemen, I believe, is how you spell his name. So, okay, very good. Thank you so much for calling in. I really appreciate it. So,
thanks, Jay.
Yeah, man, that was cool. It was kind of nice to throw that in there. I wasn't expecting that. That's good. Okay, so I'm going to be selfish now. Are you ready?
Go on.
I would like for you to explain the Stratocaster behind you.
I've had this for so many years.
I love that backdrop, man.
I have had so many guitars over the years, but this one is my baby. I've had it for so long.
Oh.
And it's my favorite guitar. But
No. Just hit us a line or two. Go ahead.
No. It's it kind of sits there. I've put it up on the desk. It's been there for a while. I'm thinking, if I put it there, I'll be more inclined to pick it up and play it a bit more often. But I used to play a lot, and it just doesn't get the attention that it deserves. But it's a great guitar.
You're definitely having fun with it for sure. That's awesome.
It's a great guitar. I love it.
Wow. So tell us, we know who you are. I so appreciate everything that you and Jason are doing. Let's back up a little bit. Tell us a little bit about that guitar, because you told me some stuff that really kind of caught my attention. I was like, that's pretty cool. I didn't know that about you. What's your background with the guitar? What have you done in the musical field?
I used to work in the music industry, but I've played guitar ever since I was 8 years old, I think.
Oh, wow.
And I started playing when I was 8. And it was just a hobby. It really kind of remained just a hobby. But I played a lot, played in bands, and was a music rep and music shops, and helps on some albums and things like that. But I don't play as much as I look. I mean, boy. It was another lifetime ago. It was a different life. It was kind of a wild time in my life that doesn't in any way resemble what I do today.
Your heart has been taken. That's for sure. That is for sure.
And I still enjoy music. I really, I'm some guitarists. I suppose if I could say some of my favorite guitarists. They're all dead. Good heavens, I'm just thinking about it now. Jeff Buckley, big fan. Prince, of course, he's gone.
Right.
Jimi Hendrix, Stevie Ray Vaughan. Oi.
Wow.
I better stop liking them. Maybe they'll live longer. I know. But, yeah.
Wow, that's cool. Okay, so tell us, how did you meet? So you're in Australia, and then you got this Irish guy who. How did you guys meet? How did you meet Jason?
Jason is actually he's actually an Englishman.
Okay.
And he lives in Ireland. He's married a beautiful, lovely Irish wife, Lynn. She's so great, and so they live in Ireland. But he's actually an Englishman.
How about that? How about that? Wow. And so you guys met how? How did you guys cross paths?
So when I was a little crankier, coming out of the Christian Hebrew Roots movement, when you go through that phase where someone mentions something, Yeshua, something or other, and you're like, get on Facebook and delete that person, and I'll delete that person, and I'll hide them, and I'll hide them, and you just don't, It's the ex-smoker syndrome, right? You don't want to be around the smokers. If they're smoking, you don't smoke anymore. I don't want to smell it. That sort of stuff. And Jason was also sort of kind of still there, but kind of starting to ask questions. And he kept appearing on Facebook, saying something or other. But I couldn't bring myself. I don't know why I couldn't hide him. I couldn't delete him. I couldn't unfriend him or anything. And for some reason, I thought, actually, you know what? I want to talk to this guy. And we got talking. And I liked him immediately, and we spoke for hours. And he, we just gelled with each other, and we discussed, New Testament, the Tanakh, and all that. And it wasn't long before Jason just went, "Yeah, this makes no sense. I'm putting down this New Testament. This is ridiculous. What are you talking about?"
Right.
And we just saw eye to eye very early on, and we've just worked together ever since. And that was, I don't know, was that 3 years ago? Maybe? I don't know. It's been a while anyway. It might have been 4. Good heavens, might be 4 years ago.
Wow. So who was first out? You or him? Or did y'all were y'all like friendly going out of it together, so to speak?
I was first out. I mean, look, I was out even before we did the first series of Torah Pearls.
Oh, wow.
I was out. I had shelved my New Testament. Jason did follow later. I think you've got a video. You did an interview with Jason one time on TORAH Talk, yeah?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So people will find that on the YouTube channel.
Yes, absolutely. In fact, we're going to have to get you and him on the show together one time. So we'll figure out how to Skype that somehow. That'd be so cool, man.
Jason, I know you're watching. You should call in.
Yeah, that would be cool. Okay, right. We actually have a caller, so why don't we go ahead and take this call now that we mentioned it, and we'll get right back on track again, okay? So thank you for tuning in. Tell us your name, where you're calling from. And please keep
This is Alicia. I'm calling from Virginia.
Hey, Alicia.
Hi, Alicia. How are you doing?
I'm doing really well.
We're not laughing at you. We're okay. Yes, we are. We loved your comment. That was very cool.
Thank you for commenting.
Yeah, I know. It was Jono that actually got me questioning my faith. And
oh,
so,
nice.
It's like, well, it's Jono. It's like I owe so much to Torah Pearls.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Jono, you should be proud of yourself. You just messed up this lady's life.
Yeah, I love that. I love messing up people's lives. It's my favorite thing.
Yeah, no, it really was. It was your broadcast with Rabbi Skobac.
Nice.
Oh, on the 365
365,
series?
Yep.
Yes. And then it was about, I guess I listened to that for about 4 or 5 weeks. And then I ended up calling TORAH Talk and talking to William. And he was like that extra push.
That is so amazing.
That's great.
I love hearing stories like this.
Thank you for letting us know, because that really is so encouraging. I love to hear how people came out as a result of listening and allowing themselves to be challenged with information.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
it's very brave of you, Alicia.
I was searching for something, but I wasn't sure whether I was going down atheism or if it was really a God. But I knew in Christianity there were so many empty questions. And your broadcast was like there and what I needed to know when I needed to know it.
That is so cool. Man, Alicia, thanks for calling in. That's just really, really sweet.
Thank you for letting us know. That's really encouraging.
That's really cool.
And a shout out to Rabbi Michael Skobac.
Yes.
He's such a great guy. Oh, he's such a great guy.
I mean,
and it's a great privilege for me to be able to supply a platform for him to answer those questions and analyze those verses and put them in context of the original language and the history, and tell us what it actually means. What Christianity would deem as a messianic prophecy.
Right.
What are they actually, these verses in the Tanakh that they supposedly claim? And that's what the 365 messianic prophecy, the 365 series that we did. I think there's something like there was less than 40 shows, and we persevered. We went through the whole list, looking at what Christianity's claims are as far as what they call messianic prophecies, and ask the question: are they really? And if not, what are they? What are these about? Right. It was great.
That was amazing. Alicia, thank you so much for calling in. Seriously, that's really awesome of you.
Yeah, I did have a question too.
Oh, sure, go right ahead.
I wanted to know how long Jenna wrestled with
Oh,
his change of faith
when-
and how that shaped what Torah Pulse is today and what he does today.
Great question. Great question. Okay,
wow.
that's all right.
That is a great question.
we'll
Thanks
go-
so much, Alicia. I will answer that.
Alicia, I'll go ahead and disconnect, and
All right.
we'll open the phone lines. Listening for your answer. Okay.
All right, thanks.
Okay. Thanks for calling in. Okay, Jono, take it away.
And look, so many of us can relate to this. I have no doubt. I'm sure you can as well, William. But because you mentioned it very early on, we're programmed to believe that if we ask certain questions, we're in danger of hell. I've spoken to Christians that listen. They ask questions and they listen so almost petrified, like, "Oh my goodness, am I going to go to hell just listening to a counter explanation?" But that's the way that we're brought up, and so I felt that too. And what was really annoying was that my wife, Khani, she ran out on that bridge way before me. And I'm like, I'm there at the base of the bridge going, can you not jump up and down on the bridge? Can we just test it? Just test it.
Nice
Let me
analogy.
just put my foot on it first. Let me
Right.
analyze it. Let me look around it first. Can you not run out on the bridge? But she went running out on the bridge, and I'm like, oh man, does that mean we're going to hell now? What's going on? And it was difficult, and so now she doesn't do things lightly. She just did it faster than I wanted to do it. I really wanted to study it out before I joined her out there, and it wasn't long before I did. But what made it easier for me? Oh well, look, it was a bit of a process. How constrained for time are we? Are we
Take as
okay?
much time as you like. Right now, we're barely past a half an hour, so you get plenty of time. Unless we keep getting calls all night. Hey, bring the calls on. We love the calls.
Bring the calls on.
Okay, go ahead, Jono.
I did a program very early on in Truth2u. I did a lot of programs with. It was a very great privilege of mine to do a lot of programs with Nehemiah Gordon.
I remember those.
and-
Right.
Yeah, and Nehemiah taught me one of the things that he changed the way that I thought. He changed the way that I allowed information to. It was the way I processed information. He really taught me how to do that properly, because and many of the listeners would know that in Christianity, it's kind of airy-fairy, touchy-feely. It's like the Tanakh is some sort of magical book by which you can cherry-pick words, phrases, themes, right? And they're referred to as connections or shadows or types.
Right.
It's always this sort of Gnostic sort of encrypted information. When I first met Nehemiah, everything that he said, and it was one of the first things that I realized straight away, everything he said was backed up with a Bible verse, with a document, with some sort of historical citing an archaeological artifact, something. Everything was tied to something that was concrete. And I thought, oh, wow. And as a Christian, I'd never experienced that before. And I thought, this is the kind of faith I want. This is the kind of faith I want to express. I want to stand firmly on what I say and have it be backed up with a passage in context, with a document or whatever it may be. And he taught me to think that way, and it took a long time to get there. And as I did that, I was still falling into that trap of confirmation bias. I wanted to be able to do that, but I wanted to hold on to my New Testament as well.
Sure.
Now eventually we did a program, or I interviewed a chap by the name of what was his name? So funny.
Was it the show with you and Nehemiah and this third guy?
It was
like a
actually. It was just myself with Baruch Ben Daniel,
okay.
otherwise known as Bruce Garavenko. Baruch Ben Daniel is the publisher of the AENT, which I have
really?
a copy of.
Wow.
The Aramaic English New Testament.
Right. Wow.
That he did with Andrew Gabriel Roth. Now, at the time, and this is years ago, but this was a pinnacle moment. This was a real game changer in the history of Truth to You, if you like. He wanted to challenge Nehemiah to a debate, right?
Wow.
And Nehemiah was like, "I don't do debates. That's not me. And I won't be put on the stage as the Jew that has to defend his faith. I just don't do that." Now, this guy was getting a little bit cranky, Baruch Ben Daniel, and he agreed to come on to Truth to You. And people can find that program on Truth to You. It sort of went back and forth a bit. But what came out of it was, because he wanted to ask, he wanted to try and, he felt that he could corner Nehemiah and so, why don't you believe in Yeshua? Of course, Yeshua is the Messiah and this, that, and the other. But it did get me thinking after that program was done. And I thought, it is interesting, though. Why doesn't Nehemiah believe in Yeshua? Why, with all that he's been exposed to, why hasn't the light, gone on for him? And then it occurred to me, wait a minute, why do I believe that Yeshua is the Messiah? And when I stopped and I thought about that, I thought, you know what? I don't even know. And that was the light went on for me, and I realized I just believe he is because I've always just believed he is. I've always been told from a very early age that Yeshua is the Messiah, therefore he must be the Messiah. And when I stopped and I thought about it, I thought, you know what? Don't have anything concrete to base that on.
Right.
Really have to study that out. Now, to go back even further, I was I was quite zealous for my faith. Look, I grew up in church, Christian schools. I even went on to do many years later a degree in Christian theology, and I was I had my wild time in the music industry in about 10 years, but I came out of that and I returned to the New Testament faith, so much so that I became a street preacher, and I would go out and stop people on the street. I was one of those.
Oh my God, I did the same thing. Keep going.
Did you?
Yes, I was definitely a street evangelist. Absolutely.
We have a lot in common, right?
Yes, I know, right?
Now tell me if you remember Way of the Master. This is Ray Comfort.
I do remember that. Yes.
Okay, so I was a Way of the Master disciple.
Oh wow.
They would teach people how to go out and use the law, right? Use the Torah to direct them to the New Testament, to show them that they need a savior.
Right.
And that's what I would do. During that time, I had discovered Shabbat, and that was the first thing that set me on the path, to where I am now. And it was the loose thread that just kept on running, couldn't stop it. Discovered Shabbat. People at my church became cranky at me. I didn't understand replacement theology. I didn't understand anti-Semitism, and it was all a bit of a shock to me when all of a sudden my Christian friends started to become quite hostile. And I thought, wow, I'm really onto something here.
Right.
If this is what the Bible says, and people are getting angry at me, well, I must be onto something. I better investigate this. And I was working in Way of the Master, doing the street preaching, and I was inquiring of them, Ray Comfort, why would we use the law? Why would we use the 10 Commandments to direct people to Jesus? Why would we say to them, have you kept the Sabbath? And they say, no. Well, you've sinned. Now accept Jesus so that you don't have to accept the Sabbath. I said, it doesn't make any sense to me.
No.
And they couldn't come up with a satisfactory answer. Out of frustration, I got onto the internet and surfed around, and I can't remember what I searched for, but I ended up with a YouTube video, which again people can find. It was the Way of the Master radio with Todd Friel, and this Todd Friel was he had set out to. He was quite chuffed with himself because he'd managed to get a rabbi on the program, and he was going to use this technique to convert the rabbi. Paint the rabbi into a corner, convert him to Christianity. This is what he was going to do, and he was quite pompous about it. And I was watching this, and the rabbi that he had gotten hold of and was going to convert was a rabbi by the name of Rabbi Tovia Singer.
No way! I knew that was coming. I love it.
This is the first this is the first exposure I've ever had to Rabbi Tovia Singer.
That's amazing. And
I listened to his the rabbi respond to Todd Friel on Way of the Master Radio. Todd Friel was using all the techniques and everything that I'd been trained to use by Way of the Master, and the rabbi was answering with scripture. He was answering with this,
nice, and
he was answering in a way that made sense. And I thought, wow, the Jewish argument, it's actually got some substance. Now, I wasn't prepared to say that it was. It was right, but I had to acknowledge, wow, this rabbi actually puts forth a pretty good argument, and I really like the way that he's dealt with this. Now, the door was open for me to investigate a Jewish perspective because of Shabbat, but I was scared to, as I mentioned earlier. I thought I better just let this sink in, and I think about it for a while because I want to go to hell. So. Now, again, people can find, if you look up Way of the Master, Tovia Singer, you'll find this video. It's an awesome video. It only goes for, 10 minutes, maybe 15. It was a defining moment for me. Now, coming back to Nehemiah, he said, look, the counter-missionary thing, the debate thing, the disputation, it's outside my scope of study. He said, this is what he said. He said, I think Dr. Michael Brown does a very good job of explaining the Christian position. And then he said, and I think Rabbi Tovia Singer does a very good job of explaining the Jewish perspective. Now, that's the second time that I heard Rabbi Tovia Singer's name, and I remembered him now a couple of years had passed, right? And that's how long I put it on the back burner for, because that's how scared I was of checking that out. But when Nehemiah had mentioned his name, I thought, now if I want answers as to why I believe Yeshua is the Messiah, why Jewish people don't believe that Yeshua is the Messiah, that's where obviously I need to go.
Right.
So I went and I found outreachjudaism.org, Tovia's website, and lo and behold, he has this plethora of audios available for free. Mm-hmm. I can't tell you how many times I listened to them, and it wasn't very long until maybe a matter of weeks after listening to those. And oh my goodness, it was like drinking beautiful, clear, cool water after after being in the desert for so long. I couldn't get enough of it, and it wasn't long before I came out and shelved my New Testament. So that's, I guess, in a nutshell, that's how it happened, and it wasn't an easy or quick process for me, Alicia. It was, it took some time.
Okay, before we catch this next caller that's on hold right now, tell us in a nutshell, how did you get into doing the Truth to You?
Well, the Truth to You, I was still doing my degree in Christian theology, and out of the blue, it just popped into my head. It's funny, people have always said to me, you got a good radio voice. And I'm thinking, okay, I'm never going to do radio, but thanks, I guess. That's really funny. And, but out of the blue, and I would say God he just dropped the idea in my head, radio. And I'm thinking, radio what? You want me should I set up a studio? Like I had nothing. I had no equipment. Didn't know where to start. I was living in the country town of Young in New South Wales, Australia, the cherry capital of Australia. And I jumped on the web, did a bit of searching around, and I found that there was a community radio station only a 20-minute drive from me. And I rang them, and they said, we would love to train you up. Just come. We'll train you up, and we'll put you on air. Okay.
Really?
So
Wow.
they did that, and lo and behold, that's how Truth to You began. It began on 2YYY was the radio station, and but at the time, again, it was still a. When I returned after my musician days, when I returned to the New Testament faith, I really felt like I ought to feel bad. I don't know if you can relate to that. But I discovered that the Southern Baptists were really good at making you feel bad, and I thought, yeah,
Right.
I need a bit of that. I need a bit of Calvinism, the total depravity, the terrible person that I am. I just felt I needed to feel bad about myself,
Right.
and they seem to do it really well. And so that's how Truth to You began. And at the time, it was those kind of programs. But the Sabbath wouldn't let up, and I discovered more and more about the Tanakh, and it slowly but surely morphed into what it is today.
So Truth to You was not, from the beginning, was not a Tanakh only. It was a Bible
Christian,
preaching Christian, whatever, to get the word out.
It was beat you savagely over the head with a hard. It absolutely was.
Right,
Hardcover New
right.
Testament. That's what.
Well,
it was.
Baruch Hashem that you are out, and truth2u.org is now this amazing counter missionary, just super freeway. I love it. I love it. I love it. Hey, big shout out right now to Mitch. I'm thinking Orlovsky from Facebook. If it's the right,
G'day, Mitch.
if it's the right Mitch, thank you for the newspaper. My wife stole it from me. She's reading it. She'll pass along the info. You're an awesome dude. And then let's
Mitch
see.
is awesome. Mitch and Sharon in Brooklyn.
New York, yes, very good,
Yes.
very good, very good. Okay, cool. Okay, so we'll take this next caller. Caller, thanks for being patient. By the way, if you call in, we can keep going for a little while. Looks like we've got a pretty good viewer base right now, about 30 to 35 people watching. So we'll stay open for a little bit longer if Jono is up for it, and if we have calls coming in. If you call, be prepared to be on hold. You'll hear us talking, but we won't bring you in till we finish or conclude our topic. So we've concluded our topic. So let's move on. Welcome to the show. Thanks for calling in. Tell us your name, please, and where you're calling from.
Hey, William and Jono, this is Danny. How are you?
Danny, where are you at?
G'day, Danny.
I'm actually in Crested Butte, Colorado right now.
Colorado. Is it cold over there yet?
It's chilly. It's nice.
Really? Oh man, I cannot wait for wintertime. It has been like
Yep.
humidly hot here in Texas.
good.
I mean Texas. Yeah,
I'll
sorry.
Bet. I'll bet.
All right, so cool. So what do you got for Jono? You got a
Yeah.
question for him?
Hey, Jono, I've actually been messaging you on Facebook a little bit the last couple days, but I wanted to see both of your take actually. So I got in a relationship with a very Christian gal about 8 months ago. I'm Jewish, and I was not an educated Jew at the time. So meeting her, it sent me on a journey and ultimately led to me embracing Judaism and us breaking up. So,
Thank you for that
I
last
guess my
part.
question. Well, thank you.
Yeah, it's tough, but good choice.
My question is, I've come across not only her but other people in my life that have, wanted to discuss faith with me, and I've approached the subject using the Bible. You like what Tovia Singer does. And eventually they end up shutting down and they can't listen to me anymore. And I guess my question is, how do you guys go about sharing your faith with other people?
That's a really good question.
Yeah.
I'm looking at a picture of you now, Danny. When you said you've been messaging me on Truth to You, and I remember we've been chatting. That's right. So it's nice to hear your voice.
Can I drop the line real fast, Jono? Just for a lot of the viewers out there, I know a lot of people really want to reach out to Jono and to like Rabbi Singer and all. When you send these emails, you may have to send dozens of them before they actually see them, because they get peppered so much with such high volumes of emails. It really is, unless they've got a personal assistant, man, it is really hard to keep up with stuff. So be patient. Be patient like Danny here, and if you have to, call in. Jono, take it away.
So, Danny, what I have found the hard way is, when I first discovered that I had been deceived, and I discovered what I now believe is truth. I wanted to go and beat people with it. I wanted to go and start the conversation and get into the nitty gritty of it, and be and I was argumentative and I was dogmatic, and it was unnecessary. And I was the religious police, and now I hate it when people try and do that to me. It reminds me of me. And I found the best way to do it is to wait until they ask questions. And the pain of that is that you could be waiting, particularly when it's family members or close friends. It's like, it's like the elephant in the room. Come on, can we talk about it? Can you ask me a question? Come on. But if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. If they don't ask questions, then you're kind of forcing the agenda. And you're right. If they do ask questions, then they're open. If they want to have an argument with you, well, yeah, okay. Let's do it respectfully. But you're right, Danny. The best way I've always found the best way to respond is to quote a scripture, because what can they do? And in my experience, it will either lead to more questions because they are sincere truth seekers, or it will close down the conversation, and you've just got to let it go.
Mm-hmm. Man, I cannot agree more. You basically said everything I was thinking. You can't, Christianity is, go through all the world and preach the gospel, try to save everyone. But Judaism is like, there's a really interesting passage that happened in the Tanakh when Moshe Rabbeinu had brought the Israelites out of Egypt, and it says that not all that came out were Israelites. And if you think back, rewind a little bit, when Moshe was up on the mountain, God told Moses, "Go down now, for the people you brought out of Egypt have corrupted themselves." And in my first response, I was thinking that's like the good parent, bad parent thing. When the kids are good, they're mine. When the kids are bad, it's like your mother's kid. It's like your son just did this, or your daughter, and they're my son too, right? But if you really subscribe to the Midrash, there's an interesting teaching there that Moshe Rabbeinu was very compassionate in Aharon, and some of the Egyptians wanted to come with them. They wanted to join with them, and out of their compassion, they let them come. And the Midrash goes on to teach that out of the ones that were corrupted themselves, the majority, if not 99.9% of them, were really the Egyptians who did this. And so there's a concept in Judaism not to proselytize. You don't want to convert people. If they want to ask you, give them answers. Be a light to the nation, and if that light provokes curiosity and they come to you asking questions, by all means, teach them. But like Jono said, if it seems controversial and they're just trying to prove a point, it's not going to last very long anyway, especially if you use the right tools, just like you've already been doing, which is using scripture. When it shuts down, just let it shut down, let it die off, and just move on. I think it's amazing. I think you're doing the right thing. And Jono, great advice, man. That hit me even as a confirmation too.
And I'm not saying that you do this, Danny, but what I used to do is I used to go hunting for an argument on the internet and look for people who are wrong.
Me too.
So I can tell them what is right. And that's what I used to do.
Oh, that was me.
It's such a waste of time. My goodness, the hours, if not days and weeks that I'd waste, feeding back into a thread on Facebook or on a forum or in a comment section on a post or something like that. Absolutely wasted time, banging your head against a brick wall. Totally unnecessary.
Yeah.
It's much better. Like with Truth to You, I present the information, and people come to Truth to You if they're interested, and they listen if they're interested, and that's great.
Absolutely. Danny, thank you so much for calling in, man. I really love hearing your voice, like hearing the questions coming in. So,
thanks, guys.
Nice Danny.
Shalom to you, man. Okay, yeah, that was awesome, man. I love questions like that. That's just really juicy. So what's all of us are wanting to know. We've seen the 365. We've seen Torah pearls. Is there anything that we need to be prepared for? Well, you know what? Let's pause on that. Callers first.
Sure.
Just like shopping. Sorry about the extra ringing. Just like shopping, the customer is always right. Welcome to the show. Please tell us your name and where you're calling from. I hope this, you know what, Jason, if you're watching this and you don't call in, shame on you. Anyway.
It's 4 a.m. there.
Oh, is it? He's sleeping.
It is.
All
But
right.
he's a night owl. Jason is a night owl, so you never know.
That's funny. Welcome to the show. Who do we have on the phone?
This is Jeff Donahue from Ohio.
Jeff, I saw
Gotcha.
your message up front, man. I was gonna shout out to you. Apologize for not doing so. Thanks for calling in, Jeff.
That's fine. No, I appreciate it. No, I just wanted once again to thank both of you guys for all that you've done. You've really helped me. I've been listening to Jono since I think 2010 or 11, back when
Wow.
I was still a Messianic, and
Whoa.
Jeff Gilbert and Brad Scott and all those interviews.
Yeah, that's right.
Whoa.
Wow, Jeff. Wow, that's a long time.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And I'm still listening. So it's all good.
Well, man, I'll tell you what. Thank you for calling in. This is great. It's nice. Plus, now I have a voice to match with your name on Facebook. So
Oh, yeah, exactly.
that's awesome. Well, shalom
But
to you.
no,
my
I don't want to tie the line up or anything. I just
Okay.
want to thank both you guys for what you're doing, because it really is, again, my story's much like you. You know, I was a ordained minister and then started listening to you guys, and now I'm out there totally actually pursuing conversion to Judaism.
Wow.
Wow.
Oh, my. Jeff, it sounds like we might have to do an interview with you soon.
Yeah.
If you're interested.
Congratulations, Jeff.
Yeah, we probably could.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we'll keep in touch for sure. Thanks for calling in, man. It's really awesome of you. Thank you.
Excellent.
Okay,
Thank
sure.
you,
I
mate.
appreciate it.
Thanks for letting us know.
Yes, sir.
Jono, you know what I find the most amazing thing ever is every time I hear stories of, these Jewish people who left their faith in Judaism to seek a relationship with Jesus, and you track those stories down, it's always coming from the angle of a Jew who found Jesus, right? In the tabloids. But when you go to find out, it was like maybe Jewish blood, but there was no Jewish wisdom in that person's lifestyle. The most dramatic one that I heard that I thought was the most credible up front was Yeshiva boy, right? A yeshiva guy grew up, and I was like, now that's pretty serious, because you're talking about someone who studies like a real Jew. But I didn't know that in the yeshiva they don't teach you the prophets. They only teach you the Torah, and that's what you study, the Torah and the oral law. Nothing about the prophets at all. And so the same person who converted who left Judaism, who was a yeshiva boy, a yeshiva student, goes to Christianity only years later to return. And what I'm finding is that all these stories about Jews who leave to go to Christianity, it's always under the identity of being uneducated with the Torah and the prophets. But on the flip side, the Christians who leave Christianity to come over to Judaism, always under the identity of extremely educated for the most part. And then you have this argument that, well, they're blind. I'm like, it's sickening. It really breaks my heart, and it makes me angry at the same time. And it really I won't tell you what I want to do, but I'll just say that it's very disheartening when you hear stuff like that. It just doesn't make any sense. You have to throw logic out the window to remain in a certain aspect of Christianity. It's really sad. Okay, well, let's take this next caller. Caller, thank you for calling in. Tell us your name. Where are you calling from, please? Caller, can you hear us?
Yes, Yours Ivanov, Janos Ur.
Sorry, I didn't catch that. I'm having difficulty hearing the caller.
Same here. Could you repeat that, please?
Yours Ivanov Ur. Janos.
Hello?
I'm not sure I'm understanding. Sorry, not laughing at you. It may be my connection with you might not be strong enough. It doesn't
sound like we have a strong connection.
It sounds like we have a bad connection, or you're speaking maybe not in a clear English or American dialect, so to speak, possibly.
Well, I'm actually speaking in Hungarian.
Thank you. I thought I was going crazy, man. Holy cow. or I was at a broken speaker at Sonic.
Mark?
No, not at all.
Who's this?
This is Mark from
It is
Connecticut.
Mark. It's my Hungarian brother, Mark.
Yes.
Oh my gosh! I thought we were both going crazy. That's awesome, Mark. How are you? Thanks for calling in.
No. We're doing well. We're doing well. I was very happy when I saw that Jono was on this evening. So I wanted to give a quick shout out.
That's awesome.
So Mark Mark's my Facebook Hungarian brother in Connecticut.
Nice.
And he's been listening for a long time. He's a great supporter of Truth to You, and thank you. Now that I can talk to you face to face, well, not face to face, but I can hear your voice. Let me say thank you very much, Mark, for your support. And Mark has actually met Jason in Ireland when Mark was there last. Yeah, he has.
Wow, cool.
He had a beer with Jason.
No way! Oh, that is so cool.
He bought me a pub. He bought me a pint in his local pub.
Yeah.
Oh, how cool is that? Wow, that is amazing.
It's nice to hear your voice, Mark. Thanks for ringing in, my Hungarian brother.
Man, that's awesome. Mark, thanks for calling in. I really appreciate that. That's cool.
Well, it was wonderful. It was wonderful to see that you were on, and I love all the work that both of you have done over the years.
Thank you, mate.
That's awesome.
Thank you, mate. And I really appreciate your support. Long time listener, Mark.
That is really cool. You know what's really funny? I was somebody had I can't remember if I saw it on Facebook or what, but they actually had regarding Rabbi Singer. They had a picture of Rabbi Singer cassette tapes. I was thinking, oh my God. Tapes, yes. Yeah. I was like, are you serious? He's been around this long? Oh my gosh. I dated myself. That was crazy. Oh my gosh. That's funny. That's funny.
So now Mark's Hungarian is much better than mine. I'll tell you that now, Mark. and mine is pretty much non-existent, but that's where my father's family comes from Hungary.
Oh, nice.
And I've been back there a couple of times. I'd love to go back again. It's been a long time since I've been there in Budapest, but yeah.
That is really cool. Wow, that's awesome. Let's see. Delaney Davis, the need to be humble, a trait, see often lacking. Oh yeah, right. Delaney Davis. Of course, a lot of the comments I'm seeing were a good 2 or 3 minutes after was something we said that triggered their thought. But yeah, she said something that really is was hard for me to swallow. As a Messianic myself, I was raised Christian, and then moved into the Messianic for about 3.5 years before I left it altogether. And it was during that time where I was a Messianic to where I really became pompous and very hard and rigid. And even when you said something earlier about how you would search for topics on Facebook just to jump in and try to prove a point, I did that with Rabbi Eli Cohen.
That's right.
But he played it so cool. He just kind of let everybody else handle it, And it's like, and then later on, I found out that I was so wrong. I was thinking, oh my gosh, and he just sat there and just took it like a man. I was like, you know what?
Such a great guy, amazing. Rabbi Eli Cohen. So he's Newtown Synagogue in Sydney, and also he is the head of Jews for Judaism in Australia. Super nice guy. In fact. Elishiva, whose last name I can't pronounce, from Indonesia.
Oh, Wirjamata, I think, or something like that.
Thank you.
I don't know if that's right or not, but at least now she knows we both know her.
Yes, she's here in Melbourne. She's only a hop, skip, and a jump away, and we were talking yesterday. And she's come over for a couple of weeks. We're going to catch up, but she was at I think she was saying an engagement party the day before, a couple of days ago, anyway. Of a friend of hers, and lo and behold, she's sitting there and she's looking across the room and she sees this guy and she's going, "Hey, you look familiar," and then she realized it was Rabbi Eli Cohen.
Oh,
and she went over and said, "Hi, are you Rabbi Eli Cohen?" He's like, "Yeah." So there's a beautiful photo of them on her Facebook page. So g'day to Rabbi Eli Cohen. Some of the most popular programs on Truth to You is with Rabbi Eli Cohen.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
That is so cool. Wow. Yeah, Rabbi Eli Cohen and Rabbi Michael Skobac, Jews for Judaism. It's funny. I saw a picture somewhere. It wasn't something that Rabbi Skobac shared, but I saw something somewhere, I think it was something that Jews for Jesus had posted somewhere, and it was a photograph of them standing at a booth, right? And on the banner behind them said Jews for Judaism. Now I got to look and I was like, that guy right there looks really familiar. And it turned out it was a really, really young version of Rabbi Michael Skobac. I was like, I knew that was you. Oh my gosh, that was so cool. He's been in for so long. And to see Ellie Cohen, they're all in cahoots. I was like, this is so cool, man. Wow.
Yeah, they have been. He's been doing it for years.
That's amazing.
He's been doing it for a long time, yeah.
So what are we looking forward to for any upcoming episodes coming up with you and Jason and some other teachers?
Jason and I are going to be continuing in the answering series where we just find something. A lot of people are sending stuff in saying, hey, can you comment on this? Can you comment on that? And it's usually a Hebrew roots or a Messianic video or an article or something like that. So we're kind of sorting our way through those. We like to pick the ones that mention us, because we've really got a reason to respond.
Sure.
But if they don't, that's fine. So we're going to, I think we're recording another one tomorrow. Of course, as I mentioned before, Israel on my mind on Israel News Talk Radio. We do one of those weekly. And Rabbi Skobac and myself are slowly working our way through the Psalms, doing a chapter at a time, exploring Psalms. Chapter 7 has just been uploaded to the Truth2u website.
Wow.
So that is what is in the pipeline at the moment. That'll continue. We'll be taking a few weeks off over November very shortly, of course, because we're going on.
That was my next question. Okay.
Yeah. So,
for the viewers out there, real quickly, if you'll look at the event I created on Facebook, if you don't have access to Jono's post on it, there's a link there to a video on the event that I created for tonight. You can click that link and it'll play a little cool video there. You can contact Jono. There's just a little bit more time left to be able to book a seat with these guys. You need to jump on it before it fills up. So, Jono, please tell us a little bit about your tour coming up.
Let me just say something about that video. That was Anna Jakubowski who made that. She and her husband Derek in Vancouver, Canada. Her business is called No Limit Productions, and the website is nolimitproductions.ca. This is the kind of stuff that she does for a living, and she's so good at it. The video that she made, I thought it was so great.
It was amazing.
Yeah, she's very, very talented. So thank you, Anna, for that. And she was on the tour last year. In fact, most of the people that are on the tour this year were on the tour last year. And so I'm looking forward to seeing a lot of them again. There's some new faces as well. There's still some seats available on the bus. Boy, what's the date today?
Today,
I think it's
9/13.
It is the 14th of September here because I'm in the future.
Yes, you are.
And so that means, wow, we've got now. There is some space left on the bus. Would love to have some Tanakh Talk listeners join us, but cool. We have to have everything paid up by the 22nd of September.
Okay.
This is a tour which is 10 days, 9 nights in from right up north in the Golan all the way down south. Maybe this year even to Beersheba. We'll see anyway. But nice. And some very special time at the end in Jerusalem with Rabbi Tovia Singer. As it's called the Tanakh Tour because, of course, we don't go to the Christian sites. We just prefer to focus on sites that are relevant to your Tanakh. And it really is a walk through the Bible where kings and priests and prophets made history in the Holy Land. Bringing your Bible to life like never before, and it's a life-changing experience. There are, as I mentioned, there's some space available. We would love to have Tanakh Tour listeners join us on the tour. The details are on truth2u.org, truth2u.org. Watch the video that William has put there. You're going to have an amazing time. It'll be a life-changing experience. We're going to meet some special guests over there as well, and I can't wait. It's 7 weeks away.
Yeah,
I think
and
it's about 7 weeks away.
And they've got 9
begins
days.
on the 6th of November. And I'm really looking forward to it. It's always just a mind-blowing experience and wonderful time with like-minded friends.
Yeah, and you've got 9 days left to book this thing. So if you're interested in going, get on the horn with Jono, and let's get this thing booked, man.
Let me know if you would like to come. Message me on Facebook or send me an email, jono@truth2u.org. And let me know that you were listening on TORAH Talk. I don't know. We'll do something. There's some sort of special offer that I haven't even thought about.
That's awesome.
But it's something. Just let me know that you were listening on TORAH Talk, and we'll figure something out.
That's awesome.
But yeah, there's still space. We would love to have you join us.
Man, I tell you what, Jono, I can't tell you how fun this has been. I wish we had a couple more hours to go. That would be so cool. But thank you so much, man. I'm telling you, this has been a great fun interview. Thank you for your time, and I hope you have a great week, man. And thank you all for tuning in. You guys rock. Keep on subscribe to Jono. I mean, you can go to truth2u.org, contact him through there, find out how to stay linked up with him. They got a couple Facebook pages going on. Check out with Jason's Spiritual Babies as well. These two guys are side by side for the most part. So, Jono, thank you again, man. Shalom to you.
Thank you, man.
You betcha. Shalom to you, and shalom to all the viewers out there. Take care. We'll see you next time on the other side. Shalom, shalom.
והכמיהה אני אתה תן תמיד כולם ביחד חשוב מכל חשוב והכרחי